Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Fearox Frank Reviews. Today we are going to talk about a segment that I wanted to do since last season. During my last review of the Don Wilson film Cybertracker, I've made an announcement saying I was going to do a different sort of film review, something called film comparisons, something I've wanted to do for a long, long time, in a sense. Yes, this is a case where I will take two films or two film franchises that are completely different from each other, but note that there are similarities between them, even though they have nothing to do with each other, but yet, somehow, there are similarities between them. So today, we will take a look at... Hold on. Damn it. Shit. Well, no use of doing that voice, so, yeah. So I'm not going to do that voice. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about film comparisons. In a sense, well, I'm going to take two different film franchises and pit them against each other, and also discuss which film is probably the better film. Today, I'm going to talk about, well, in case you haven't seen the title of it, today I'm going to be talking about Alien vs. Predator versus Resident Evil. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, what? What? Why am I putting these two against each other, and what the hell are you talking about? How could these two have comparisons between the two of them? Well, there are plenty of comparisons to do with these. I mean, okay, first off, maybe it's due to the fact that nobody noticed the comparisons between these movies at all. But even their subsequent sequels actually had comparisons. Yeah, not even joking. These two film series have nothing to do with each other, but yet there are similarities between them. What the hell? So today we're going to discuss what those similarities are and which film series is probably better. And I'm going to be kind of decisive and kind of an asshole on this whole thing. So we start with the settings. So let's take a look at the settings, locations, and of course the characters in it though. Not going to bother with the body count because Resident Evil's going to probably have a higher body count, you know, because zombies do double as humans, so yeah. So much for the body count thing. Anyway, so both these films start in like secluded locations in a sense. With Alien vs. Predator, AVP, it's in well, Antarctica amongst all things, because supposedly there is a hidden temple. There's a hidden alien predator temple, or the temple, the very first pyramid temple ever created from the first civilization, hidden in Antarctica. Interesting. With Resident Evil, it's the Spencer Mansion, or just the mansion. They never said it's the Spencer Mansion at all. So, yeah, this is one thing. Since I am a fan of the Resident Evil video games, I was heavily disappointed when I found out the place was not called the Spencer Mansion. So, yeah, instead of which, it doesn't take place in the Spencer Mansion, but it takes place underground in a place called the Hive. Of course, now, thanks to Resident Evil 2, everybody calls it it's now been notified as the Nest. Unfreaking believable. You know what? Whatever. Alright, I already made the okay, you know, there's a ton of things wrong with the Resident Evil film. Like, a lot of things wrong with it. But maybe that's a review for another day. Anyway, both films completely take place underground in two secluded complexes, hidden away from the world, in a sense. So, yeah, there's also two elite special forces units, but they all get wiped out. And, of course, there are two similar factions. There's the survivors, and then there's the killers, in a sense. In Resident Evil's case, we have the zombies and subsequent monsters that Umbrella Corporation has actually made. With AVP, it's the Yautja and the Xenomorphs. Or, in case you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, Yautja, the Predators. Xenomorphs, aliens. Now you know what the hell they're called. Get over it. Now, both films have a leading female protagonist. Yes. And with Resident Evil, it's always been Mila Jovovich, who later became Paul Van Hoven's wife. So, Yeah, and considering that he directed the film, kind of weird that he's whoring her out like this. Yeah. In this one, we have another female lead protagonist, but she doesn't even show up in the sequel, so okay, that's fine by me. But she's a very strong character nonetheless. That's another thing too that's kind of disappointing in a sense. There are lead strong characters in both the films, however, most of them get killed off. With Resident Evil, they get killed off really quickly. I mean, with the stupid laser defense system, they just chops people up like sushi. Just like chop, 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 chop. Nothing but slicey, dicey pieces. I'm like, when the fuck was that in? I'm going. When the fuck was that ever in the Resident Evil games? Oh wait, Resident Evil 4. They put that in there. There, now it's coming in the movie. No, it's just holding itself out to the movie. That's bullshit. Believe me, it gets worse from there, but whatever. Anyway. Alright, okay. Isolation, and also, there are tons of locked doors, and there are tons of locked doors and hidden locations, and isolated spots within both locations of the Hive and the Pyramid. In a sense. However, the difference between the two of them is that, one, the Pyramid is loaded with xenomorphs and 3 young Yautja hunters that are trying to become blooded hunters. So these guys are both. So the Yautja are completely inexperienced. So it's more like a blood ritual. In the Hive, all the doors are seemingly locked, and now they're all unlocked, and now we have tons of zombie hordes, zombie dogs, and one licker running around the area. I said licker, not tyrant. Okay, first off, the T-virus is called T because of the name. It means tyrant virus. How could you call it the T-virus without the fucking... You know what, never mind. There's a like I said, there's a ton of things wrong with the Resident Evil film. Also, the biggest fuck up they made, aside from not putting the tyrant in it, why was the T-virus blue? In the games, it was green. And they had an antivirus, which was green. I'm like, what? First off, one, the T-virus never had an antivirus at all. All right. Number two, the only reason why it was why we had the blue version, because blue was the actual color, was the color of the antivirus to the G virus, and that was called Devil. Yeah, try to figure that one out. Thirdly, there was actually a T-virus antivirus, but it was called Daylight, and it didn't come in until much later. Say the Resident Evil Outbreak series, which is actually canon now. I'm sorry, I just need to get off my chest. Seriously, because they royally fucked up so badly on the rest. I do kind of have guilty pleasures towards Resident Evil, but my God, did they fuck that up so badly. I don't know why they changed it from green to blue, so it makes no fucking sense. And if you play the video games, you're going to be more fucking confused. But there are tons of fight scenes between the two films, and the fight scenes are minimalistically okay. Though the fight scenes in AVP are a lot more better, because with zombie killing scenes, it's like, okay, we've seen these dozens of times. Alien vs. Predator, haven't seen it before. It's like, okay, much better to deal with. And plus, they're usually mostly practical effects most of the time, too. With a huge xenomorph animatronic and a guy in a Yautja stun suit. So, okay, not bad. Going in the right direction there in that film. Really good. Now, there are problems. Now, here's another thing that's even more weird. They had to get to the surface, in a sense, and try to get the hell out of there. With Resident Evil, there was sort of a time limit, because if they hadn't get out, in just under an hour, the entire facility was going to get fully locked down by Umbrella. And in Alien vs. Predator, well, okay, first off, the female protagonist, her name is Lex, and the surviving Yautja that's in the movie, his name is Scar, because he scars himself, marking himself, basically saying that he's now blooded, that he's now a full-fledged hunter. He's probably the only best character, the only best Yautja in the movie. Anyway, those two actually team together, and Scar notices that the infestation of the xenomorphs are getting out of hand, and the Queen had just broken loose. So he gets his wrist bomb, and he detaches it, which is a first because I had no idea Yautja could actually detach the wrist bombs from the wrist at all. I did not know they can do that. And he chucks it over to where the heart of the nest is, and they get the fuck out of there. So they both have time limits, but the AVP one was like spur of the moment. But we knew we were gonna get a huge explosion because, well, Predators have bombs. We're gonna get an explosion. Come on now. Anyway, so yeah, they both do escape in a sense. They both escape. Both films actually have two survivors in a sense. In this one, it's Alice and Matt. In this one, it's Scar and Lex. But there is a boss fight. In this movie, the liquor actually transforms when it eats human flesh for the first time. Okay, so for somebody who don't know what a liquor is basically like a skinned human with with a huge gaping mouth and a giant tongue that's 3 times the size of its body, swabbing around, and it cuts people's heads off when it gets too close. It cuts people's heads off because somehow it's razor sharp. I don't know how that works. And it has no eyes. There's a huge thing with Crimson Heads being like the stage of zombies turning into them, but that's a whole video for like a whole different day. But there are analyzation videos of it on YouTube, so give it a watch. So, all right, they can best explain it better than I can. So the liquor turns into some type of cheetah-looking thing, which was never heard of at all, because liquors don't do that. So whatever, movie, new fucking rules. But yeah, that actually does happen, and the liquor actually winds up. It kills one of the soldiers, and when the other soldier turns into a zombie. But they do wind up actually burning it on the tracks, and it dies. With AVP, we got to see the Queen alien. Yeah, the Queen gets loose, and Lex and Scar are trying to fight it off. In the middle of the scuffle, Scar does die. Sadly, Scar does actually die, and he succumbs to his wounds. But they did actually, but Scar and Lex chained it up to an oil tower, and then they dropped it into the water. Which Scar eventually dies from his wounds in a sense, but they did actually kill the Queen by dropping in sub-zero water, where it ultimately froze to death. And well, here's the other thing that's even more screwed up. Both the male characters in a sense, Matt and Scar, well, something bad does actually happen to them. Matt gets wounded by the liquor. Scar actually gets impregnated by a xenomorph facehugger, but we didn't notice it until like a little bit later. And when the Predators come in and take him away, we got a xenomorph Yautja hybrid, also known as a Pred alien, come up out of nowhere. And in Resident Evil, they take Matt away. Umbrella comes in and they take Matt away after the facility closes up. They take Matt away. They said they suppress out. They actually they take in Alice, but they tranquilize her. And before they do that, they actually look at Matt like, he's mutated. Okay, I want him in the Nemesis program. I'm like, wait, Nemesis? Too soon? Seriously? Too fucking soon. So, oddly enough, both the male surviving characters in both these films become the main villain in the second film. And isn't it more weird that both these films were directed by Paul W.S. Anderson? Not even joking. Well, fuck it. Let's get to the sequels, because I am not doing a part 2 to this video. And the sequels are just foodbarred. Well, I want to say foodbarred. They're actually more batshit crazy. What's even more ironic, the sequel to Resident Evil actually came out the same time Alien vs. Predator came out. So, now both these films did not have Paul Anderson direct these films. So instead we have different directors. Very peculiar. Now, in this film, now both these films actually have infestations. We have a zombie infestation in Raccoon City. However, in Alien vs. Predator Requiem, or AVPR as it's mostly called, we have a xenomorph outbreak in a small rural American town, and we have one predator known as Wolf come in to kill them all, to wipe them all off. And Wolf is actually the best character in the entire goddamn movie. Not even joking. The best character in this movie is the Predator character. He is awesome. As for the Pred alien here on the cover, his name is Chet. Why? Well, during the production they called him Chet for some fucking reason. Maybe because they didn't want the film synopsis leaked online. So they actually they gave the Predator and the Pred alien names. So Wolf, obviously because he was known as a lone wolf predator, and Chet because actually I have no idea why they even call him Chet. I mean, I'm so fucking confused. I mean, why don't they call him Chet? I mean, why Chet? I don't get it. Why? Okay, confusion aside, anyway, both the films pretty much take place arguably days from the original films in a sense. In a way. Sorry, fucking Godzilla's arm is trying to hold these DVDs up and it keeps dropping them. Anyway, Alice wakes up and now she's a humanized zombie. She's basically a superpowered weapon, and Matt turns into Nemesis, which doesn't make any sense considering the time period. It's only been like, what, a couple of days? Or supposedly a week, and they mutated? It doesn't make any sense, but with AVP, it picks up right up after, just after what happened in the first film. So it arguably doesn't make any goddamn sense. Actually, to be fair, with AVP-R, it makes a whole lot of sense. Resident Evil Apocalypse doesn't make much sense. And both these films did get scolded, and I'm not gonna lie, they were both scolded because they were ridiculous sequels. But let's get one other thing let's get one other thing straight. The body count was ridiculous. Well, the body count within the first two films, it wasn't like, it was barely maybe, Resident Evil probably had like maybe a couple of hundred employees turned into zombies, and by the end of the movie, the zombie outbreak actually happened, but Resident Evil Apocalypse starts off when the zombie apocalypse actually happens. With Alien vs. Predator, we had people turning into xenomorphs and getting killed off by the predators. In this movie, nobody was safe. Yeah. Nobody was safe. Nobody was safe at all. So, what film... I can go on and on about both these films in a sense, but what can we say about these? Well, the similarities from these films are both almost identical, too. Take place on the city level, have a much higher body count, although with AVPR, it got really ridiculous in a sense, because, like, nobody was safe in this movie. This movie showed no fucking mercy whatsoever. This movie was like, oh, this is an Alien vs. Predator sequel? Oh, we're not showing any mercy. There's gonna be blood tonight. Seriously, we're talking about people, innocent people, kids, pregnant women. Nobody was safe in this movie. At all. God damn. This movie had and this is the unrated version, so there was a lot more blood and gore in this version. Shit. This one, it's a standard zombie movie, only with like a couple of more monsters here and there. The Lickers make a comeback, which is arguably very stupid, because I'm going, where the fuck were the hunters to begin with? We get to see Nemesis, who, I am not gonna lie, was fucking awesome. Nemesis was probably the best part of the entire movie, so that's another thing too. Both these movies have one kick-ass awesome character. In this movie, we had Nemesis. This one, we had Wolf. Now, all we need is to have a Nemesis and Wolf battle. You know, I take it back. Let's have Nemesis from the video games versus Scarface from Predator Concrete Jungle. That is a fight I want to see. But the internet doesn't have the balls for that one. Or maybe they do, maybe they don't. I honestly don't give a shit at this point. So we do have a cast of characters which we do somewhat give a shit about, but they all mostly get picked off one by one. The only difference is that in this one, Nemesis does change sides at one point towards the end of the movie, but he gets killed off. In this one, Wolf was not associated with anybody. He was just there to clean up the mess. That's all. He was just there to clean up the fucking mess. The Xenomorphs, they practically made a huge mess of the town. He just got sent in to clean up the mess. Since he wasn't aligned with nobody. And since you got in this way, he will kill you. So he was just a predator doing his... He was a Yautja elite hunter doing his fucking job. Alright, so he did his job. And there's actually tension between him and Chet throughout the entire movie, and pretty much when those two are on screen, it's the only time the movie is actually awesome. When we get to see these two go at it. So, yeah. Now, okay, Carlos and Jill are both in this movie, but they kind of downplayed their characters, because they mostly focused on Alice, which made no sense. With this one, yeah, they mostly focused on the survivors, and the predator and the aliens and predators, so they basically did go back and forth between all the characters. But with this one, the way it was edited, it was sort of like a soap opera. You know how soap operas have like different things going on at once? This movie had the same thing going on, which was kind of weird. It was kind of like the Young and the Restless, Alien versus Predator version. You know, that's very weird. Now that I said that, I actually want to see that happen. Yeah, an Alien vs. Predator soap opera. Yeah, an entire soap opera goes on while there's an Alien vs. Predator battle going on underneath the sewers. That is definitely worthy of watching. But we should just continue on. Now, both these films, both the city scales are both exploded in a sense. In this one, Umbrella just sets off a nuclear bomb, destroying the entire town, eradicating the T-virus. In this one, the government sends in a nuke to destroy the entire town from keeping the Xenomorphs from getting out. And it plays in pretty well with the Alien franchise, despite whatever the fuck Ridley Scott was trying to think about with the Prometheus films. Do not watch those, by the way. Those are fucking horrible. Oh god, don't even bother watching them. No matter how much he's trying to play them up, don't watch them. So in the end, both films sort of set up for sequels, but with Alien vs. Predator, it never happened. With Resident Evil, it continued on and on, up until we got a shitty film after shitty film after shitty film, with the last film getting a ton of lawsuits. Go figure. Yeah. High expectations with shitty results. That's what happened with the Resident Evil franchise. However, with Alien vs. Predator, on the other hand, these films actually stopped because supposedly there was going to be a third film that took place in the future where we were going to get the Colonial Marines to come in and fight off the aliens and predators. So it was going to be the Alien vs. Predator movie that the fans would have wanted, but we had to deal with these two films first. Honestly, thinking about it now, we should have got that third AVP film. And I keep hearing that 20th Century Fox is supposedly working on another film because Disney now bought it out. And Disney wants to make a Predator TV show on like Disney Plus and make it PG-13. Yeah. Disney, first off, you still need to keep your eye on that Friday the 13th lawsuit, because if the lawsuit goes all the way through, that means you can't make the sequel and can't make the thing at all. Yeah, you might want to keep that in mind. So now comes the portion of my video where I have to say which one of these film series was better. Well, it's going to be hard. And what the fuck do you think? I'm going with these two fucking movies. Yeah, the Alien vs. Predator franchise. Why? There are two films. There are two variations of both these movies. And you can just sit down and watch both of them and not bitch about it. Okay, to be fair, you can bitch about it because there are some, you know, discrepancies between the franchise of Alien and Predator, but you might want to keep this in mind. They didn't continuously do the movie series where it got to the point where Resident Evil got to, with the last film being a total shit bomb, and it actually wound up going through a shit ton of lawsuits with the stunt actors. And also, keep this in mind, these are way better than the Prometheus films. Yeah. Both these movies, this one told a great origin story. This one was balls to the wall, showed no fucking mercy whatsoever. And to be fair, we got what we asked for. We wanted blood, we wanted guts, we wanted no mercy. We wound up getting it. So I don't know what people. So you know what? If it's not your thing, don't watch it. But I will say this. For my first film comparisons, I will say this much in a sense. I would say watch the Alien vs. Predator franchise films and not the Resident Evil films. You want to see something better from Resident Evil? Play the goddamn games. Play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and play the remakes. Play all the side games, all the same. Yes, play them. Play the Alien vs. Predator games. These are two good franchises, but yet the film versions had similarities between them. If the film series would have continued on with Alien vs. Predator, I'm sure there would have been similarities with the third film, the fourth film, the sixth film, and the seventh, compared to the two other Resident Evil films I just did. So, yeah, we would have had more comparisons between them. But, at least with AVP, they knew when to stop. With Resident Evil, they didn't know when to stop. Well, that's it. That's my film comparisons review. To the next time, and I will... Ah, shit. No, I can't do that film because it's missing. Okay, before I end the movie review, before I end this, I need to ask. Does anybody know what in the hell happened to my Queen of the Damned DVD? I mean, I had it here before. I don't even know what the hell happened to it. I think somebody took it. This is fucking... What the hell? Hold on a second. There's some graffiti here on my wall. Hello, Fearox Frank, my good friend. It is I, your best friend. I am taking your DVD, and I want to do a crossover review. Yours truly, TW. TW? What the hell do I know has a TW? Troy, you son of a bitch! I'm gonna get you for this, you bastard! You know what? I'm going to be calm about this. I'm going to be a mature man. I'm going to go find Troy, and I'm going to talk to him and try to get my DVD back in a very peaceful manner. Now, look at my DVDs here. What should I... now that I can do. Tune in next time, and I'm going to review a Tom Selleck movie. Why Tom Selleck? I don't know. I just want to do something different for once. Till then, take care.